are not working in the halls, but are talking to each other in the corridors. Mr. Shamir has again repeated that he wants to see a peaceful resolution. The Prime Minister of China, Li Peng, and Narasim Rao from India signed a border agreement for a peaceful resolution of their conflicts. This is the first meeting, such meeting, in 30 years. In Seoul, in Korea, there was a meeting, an inter-Korean meeting on non-aggression and cooperation. After the splitting up of Korea in 1945, there was no such meeting. At the latest session of the General Assembly, a large number of states requested that the composition of the Security Council be increased. There are 166 persons in the countries in the General Assembly, but only 5 in the supreme body of it. Salman Rushdie appeared unexpectedly in Columbia University in New York, and he spoke about freedom of speech and said this was the essence of life, and then he disappeared in an unknown direction. Romania has recognized Azerbaijan and wishes to develop friendly relations on the basis of the Constitution of the UN. So now let's switch into domestic affairs. Today, there was a telephone conversation between Genscher and Shevardnadze, and they were talking about the situation in our country and the agreement which was concluded. Mr. Shevardnadze said this was a positive process, but it was a mixed picture at the same time. But nevertheless, it was a major event. Mr. Genscher informed him as to the meeting of the leaders of the European Community in Maastricht, who are interested in the preservation of a stable and peaceful entity on the territory of the former Soviet Union. They want to continue rendering assistance in foodstuffs and medication. And then the question raised about Erich Honecker, it was stated by Mr. Shevardnadze that he had just learned that Honecker was in the Chilean embassy in Moscow. They claimed that was not the case. Tomorrow, the Russian government was to have handed over Honecker to the German authorities, but it turned out that he had concealed himself in the Chilean embassy in Moscow. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Germany demanded that he leave the Chilean embassy, but a representative of the embassy said they did not have any information with regard to his location. By evening, however, this information was confirmed, and Honecker is located in the Chilean embassy as a guest. According to Radio Liberty, the Soviet Foreign Trade Bank has virtually exhausted its reserves. There are only 2 ways out. They can get a credit of $1 billion from the Big Seven, but the Big Seven wants to get 104 tons of gold as security. The other path is to borrow this hard currency from Soviet commercial banks. It is assumed that the reserves of these banks amount to $1 billion dollars. In many respects, the commercial banks are doing more business than the state banks. They have concluded agreements about buying a computer for bank activities. According to specialists, this contract is a revolution in banking. The bank, on the basis of this new computer system, can become very modern, service clients, and of which there are more than 40,000 in this commercial bank. There are 15 branches in Moscow and 18 in the rest of Russia. The amount of services being offered is being expanded. People can get information on other clients, about clients. They might establish contacts with foreign customers. So money that's working produces money. Under this system, A client of the bank could use his computer at home to perform any bank operations. It cost $2.5 million. And this was Moss Business Bank. The U.S. firm Internet Systems supplied the equipment, and Tandem Computers supplied the software. Perhaps your bank is the only such bank in our country which has such a computer system. Maybe you'll be an exception. You won't be able to work with anybody else. Well, we have to begin somewhere. This is Mr. Bukato, president of the bank. He says we have to get started in this. Of course, they're going to have to spend some amount of money to buy machine time and offer services. You have to pay for everything on the market economy. Today in Moscow, there was the first and last Congress of Musical Figures. This union was formed last year as a musical society, but now we're going to have still more transformations or a breakup of these old structures which are no longer necessary. In spite of the economic difficulties, we had musicians from all over the country, and now even from many sovereign states even. We need a structure which would take upon itself the rendering of assistance to our musicians, but the state is not able to provide sufficient assistance, according to Mrs. Irina Arkhipova. I spoke to our Vera Gornastayeva, who's a wonderful pianist. What do you think? This is a question of the survival of culture. That sounds rather lofty, but the word, we have to all say the terrible word, money. No, I think this is a question of something else. Money is secondary. This is a response to our efforts. In any case, we should not wait for someone to give us something. We have to act on our own. I think that if we get together, we'll find the money. We need hands, enthusiasm, people, and the money will appear. We'll find sponsors. They have to appear. There are still some people left. No matter how much of a brain drain we're having here and how much of a genetic loss we've suffered in the country, difficult as this may be, precisely at this moment, we are laying the foundation for the next House of Music of Russia. Today, at the Congress of Musical Figures, it was renamed to the Union of Musical Figures, and Mrs. Arkhipova is the president with whom we just spoke. So now we're going to have the last Soviet prizes handed out in literature, art, and architecture. They were handed out to the architects at the Taganka Theater, the writer Victor Astafiev, to the Turkmen Youth Theater for the play John, to the writer Masbashov, to the group which created the film The Servant, which was Mosfilm, the people's artist Nikolai Nekrasov, the writer Bulata Kudjava, and Alexander Apolovnikov, who is a doctor of architecture. And here we have the sports section coming up now. This is simultaneous interpretation from the Russian by John Glad. Good evening. Our sports survey will begin with hockey. There's only one playoff left until the finals for the hockey championship of our country. So we have the following results. Sokol played 5-5. Riga lost to Tractor 2-3. CSKA, the Army team, beat Avangard 4-0. The Wings of the Soviet beat Lada 2-0. The Torpedo of Yaroslav beat Torpedo of Ust-Kamenogorsk 9-4. Torpedo of Nizhny Novgorod beat Khimik 2-2, and ETIL lost to Dynamo of Moscow 1-3. So here we have the 8 leading teams in the competition. This is Dynamo of Moscow, CSK, which is the Army team, Wings of the Soviets, Khimik or Chemist, Spartak, Tractor, Torpedo of Nizhny Novgorod, and Torpedo of Ust-Kamenogorsk. So we now switch over to soccer in Europe. In Lisbon, there were 90,000 fans at the match between Benfica, the Portuguese team, and Barcelona. Although the match was a tie, 0-0, it was an exciting match, and the fans were very pleased. At least many of them were. There was only a thought of offensive operations. The Bulgarian Stoichko, who played for Benfica, was very prominent, and the Kiev player Uran, who's playing for Benfica, was very active. And although there were no goals put in, the players showed that they were first-class teams. So Barcelona is winning at 3. Dynamo of Kiev and Sparta from Prague have 1 point less each. And here we have in Munich the last